Okay, so welcome to Inspirational Slow Flow Yoga. And as I mentioned earlier, before we were recording, if you have a couple Mexican blankets or you have a couple beach towels, feel free to use those during your practice. I'm going to have you guys start in a reclined position. So come onto your back. You can support the backs of the knees if you'd like with a rolled up blanket or towel. You could do the same to support the back of the neck, maybe create a little neck roll for your head. And then just make your way onto your back, finding a nice comfortable position. I will not be using music because it interferes with the audio, so feel free to have some music available that you might want to cue once we get started. Once you come onto your back, just allow the legs to extend out long. Turn the palms upward, just allowing the shoulders to begin to release open, palms nice and open in a space of receptivity here. And then just begin to kind of check in. Notice how your body feels this morning without judging or labeling, just noticing any sensation anywhere in your body. And as you begin to scan the body, also begin to notice any thoughts or feelings that are present, just accepting whatever is here today. Now begin to notice what's happening with your breath. How fast or slow are you breathing? How deep or shallow? Is there a rhythm to your breath? And as you begin to bring attention to the breath, begin to intentionally slow and deepen your breathing. Breathing that breath in through the nose, through the back of the throat, all the way into the lungs, taking it all the way into the bottoms of the lungs so you feel your belly expand and inflate. You may want to take a hand or two on the belly, just as a connection point. As you exhale, just feel the belly soften and hollow out. Let go of all of the breath. And when you think you've got it all out, squeeze out just a little more, making space for a fresh new wave of breath. Start to slow and deepen your breath. So extending out the count of your inhales. Maybe a slight pause at the top. And then see if you can double the length of your exhales relative to your inhales. So go really slow, squeezing all of that breath out. And then riding up to the top of the breath, taking your time. Pause at the top. And then really lengthen those exhales. So today we're going to spend time talking about how gratitude is a catalytic converter. Melanie Beatty said, gratitude changes any situation into a more positive one. When you can learn, feel contentment and satisfaction in your life, and grow spiritually by transforming lack into abundance. So gratitude is feeling thankful. It's an emotion of connectedness, which reminds us that we are part of a larger universe connected to all living things. The habit of gratitude can greatly help with feelings of inner peace, increase mindfulness, and attract more good into our lives. Gratitude connects us to the present moment. It uplifts our spirits and feeds our hearts. It activates the positive emotion centers in the brain. A regular practice of gratitude can change the way our brain neurons fire into more positive automatic patterns. Gratitude can help during times of stress or panic. Thinking of all the hard times you've already overcome and all the good you already have in your life can be very reassuring. We know that it helps with mood, it improves our health and our immunity, it improves our relationships. So take a moment to bring some awareness to things in your life that you're thankful for. Give gratitude the chance to come up naturally. And when it comes up, just allow yourself to sink into the feeling. Surrender to it. Notice how it feels in your body, how your energy feels. And if it doesn't come up, that's okay. Don't force anything. Just surrender to your heart, not your head. Start to flash through all aspects of your life that you might be grateful for. First, bring awareness to your breath. As you inhale and as you exhale, the fact that each of these breaths gives you life. Now become aware of your heart beating, pulsing, filling with love and compassion and peace, and flowing that back out. Bring awareness to your eyes that let you see color, faces, smiles, nature, the faces of those you love, the sunrise, the sunset, anything else that brings joy to your heart. Bring awareness to your ears that beam in sound, music, laughter, the silence, the beautiful sounds of life. Bring awareness to your nose, smells the ocean breeze, the aroma of sweet fragrance, flowers, trees, newly cut grass, the wafting smells that come from the kitchen. Bring awareness to your lips and mouth that tastes and savors and nourishes, kisses and speaks, and whispers and sings. Bring awareness to your hands that hold and touch and caress and open and close and applaud and squeeze. The arms and shoulders that carry and hug, that lift and stretch. Bring awareness to your feet and your toes, the gift to wiggle them, the fact that they transport you and enable you to walk, run, kick, dance, leap, fold, and point. What about your tears and your sorrows, the strength that you seem to be able to muster to make it through each and every day? Bring awareness to your abundance, your expansion, your evolution, your perspective shifts, the affluence of flow and empathy and love and light, your ability to see growth and potential in every moment. Now just breathe and feel more grace and ease. And now experience the warmth, love, and compassion that gratitude brings into your heart. Drift your awareness to nurturing relationships in your life, the new ones and the older ones. Material things that came to you unexpectedly, things that have flowed to you with great effort, commitment, and hard work. Think of love in your life and your connection to those things that are sweet, loving, honorable, and just feel right. When we no longer take life for granted, we become grateful for everything that we have. Just breathe and let this flow for a few moments. Slowly begin to stretch, reaching the arms up overhead. Begin to lengthen the body, pointing the toes toward the front of the room. And begin to circle your wrists and your ankles here, just bringing some life, some movement to these joints. Just grateful for them. Grateful for this breath. On your next exhale, gently sweep the arms around. Take a hold of your right leg. So you can bring the hands interlaced below the knee or behind the knee. And then just begin to circle that knee around. Any movement into that hip joint, beginning to open up, creating some ease of movement here. And take it in the other direction. Draw that knee in toward your chest, just holding for a breath or two. Holding on to the knee with the left hand, take your right arm out to the side like a wing. Let your palm face up, keep the right shoulder grounded on the mat, and then begin to guide that leg across the body. Take that knee to the left. Your right hip will lift, but keep your right shoulder grounded on the mat. Maybe your gaze goes over your left hand. Over your right hand. And just breathe. Twists are inherently detoxifying. Just help us to wring out stuff we no longer need in the body. But also it happens on an emotional and an energetic level as well. So what toxins can you release? What can you let go of? That maybe is interfering in your ability to feel grateful and thankful for all that you have in this moment. Slowly begin to unravel that twist. Hug that knee in. And then we're going to come up, bringing our forehead toward our right knee. Flex the foot, and then maybe you'll want to flex that left foot. Keep it extended, but elevate it just above the floor. Squeeze in here. On the inhale, release, and just lower down. On the exhale, hug that knee in, rounding up, forehead toward the knee, left heel lifting. And lower down. So moving with your breath a few times like this. On the exhale, lifting up, squeezing into the core, and lower. Right now we're also squeezing into the ascending colon. This helps with digestion and elimination. Also helps to nourish and nurture our hip capsule. Synovialize it, bringing synovial fluid there. It's like an egg white-like substance that helps the joints to slide easier. Good, and then lower down, we're gonna switch legs, bring that left knee in, send the right leg out long. And we'll begin to circle that knee. See if you can find the edges of that hip joint. Notice any areas that are a little sticky. Notice any that slide really nicely. Take it in the other direction a few times, lots of breath. Beautiful. We're going to hold on to that knee with the right hand. Take the left arm out to the side, palm faces up. Begin to guide that knee to the right. Let that left hip lift, but keep the left shoulder relaxed on the mat. Maybe take your gaze over that left hand and breathe. 70% of our toxins leave the body through the breath. The rest go through our digestive system or through our skin in the form of sweat, but 70% through respiration. So make those exhales count. Come back out of that twist, hugging that knee in. And then bring your forehead toward the knee, maybe elevating that right foot, flexing both feet, hug the muscle to the bone here. On the inhale, just lower down. On the exhale, squeeze and lift. Forehead toward that knee, right heel lifting. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. A few more breaths like this, working with the breath, linking breath and movement together, which is very reassuring for our nervous system. It also helps the muscles to release the grip they have on the bones so we can stretch better, create space in our joints. Beautiful job. Breathing, coming up here, squeeze it out, and then lower. Go ahead and bring both knees in and allow those knees to come nice and wide. Hug the knees in toward your armpits. Just keep the feet relaxed for the moment. Keep the tail soft. So we're lowering the sacrum toward the floor. We're keeping the shoulder blades on the floor. As much of your spine connecting with the earth as possible. We're going to begin to open this up. So straighten the legs, coming into a wide open A on our backs. Feet are flexed. Maybe bring your hands to the inside of those thighs to accentuate the stretch a little bit, going a little deeper. Or maybe you support the legs from the outside. Stay connected to your breath here. Keeping the legs open wide, bring your hands alongside your hips and place them on the floor. You can also slide the hands underneath your sacrum if you want to, and really press the backs of the arms into the floor. On the exhale, we're going to cross the right leg over the left leg. On the inhale, open the legs back up. On the exhale, cross left over right. Inhale, open the legs. Keep alternating like this, right over left. Inhaling, opening. Left over right. Couple more like this, moving with your breath. Just heating up the core a little bit, improving our circulation, bringing the blood back toward our heart by having our legs inverted. And one more time each side. Beautiful job. Release the hands from underneath, and if it's available, take a hold of your big toes and bend into your knees, coming into happy baby. If it's not available for you to take a hold of the toes or the outer edges of the feet, you can take a hold of the backs of the knees or the backs of the calves. We're stacking those feet over the knees as if we're holding the ceiling on our feet. Maybe rock a few times here. Add a bonus feature, a smile to your face. Happy baby smile. Feel how good it feels to move your body. Beautiful. Coming back. And then hug those knees a little closer toward your armpits, using a little bicep strength, a little muscular strength of those arms. Just take it a little deeper. Keep flattening your low back toward the floor. Beautiful job. We're going to release that. Bring the legs up for just a moment, and I stretch into those hamstrings. And then point and flex the feet here. You can hold on to the backs of the legs, or you can reach the arms up too, and maybe you're circling the hands. This helps to return lymphatic fluid back toward the center of the body. It also helps to improve circulation. We spend most of our time upright, and so this provides the blood an opportunity to come out of the extremities of our bodies, our arms, legs, hands, feet, back toward the heart. We're just helping to counter the effects of gravity on the body. Draw those knees into your chest, give them a nice squeeze, and then roll to one side. Just pause there for a moment in a fetal position. So one of the things about practicing gratitude is it helps us to come into a space of santosha. So santosha is a yogic term that means contentment, but the word breaks down into sam and tosha. Sam is completely or entirely, and tosha is acceptance, satisfaction, or contentment. And so this idea that as we practice gratitude, we can start to really come into a space of appreciating all that we have and feeling content with what we've been given. We're going to come up onto all fours. And so if you have a blanket or a towel and you want to support the knees, go ahead and place that underneath the knees. Bring the knees directly underneath your hips. And then we're going to fan the fingers wide, creating J's with the index fingers and thumbs. Index fingers will point forward or angle out toward the front corners of your mat. Make sure the hands are at least shoulder width distance apart here. And then we're just going to start to kind of organically move the body. So maybe imagine that your spine is like a rope. See how many movement potentials you can find. Try not to repeat the same thing twice. So when we're born, we have 2,000 movement potentials. By the time we're 18, that drops to about 200. And so we want to recapture some of those movement potentials as we get older. We want to be able to find all kinds of movement potentials in our body. Once you've done a little bit of that, maybe even some lateral bending, taking your gaze to each foot. Maybe a little cat-cow kind of action, but trying not to be linear, just be organic with it. So much of what we do exists in linear movements, and that really limits our body's ability to move. Come back to the center. We're going to take the right foot back behind us and then lift the heel as if we're putting a footprint on the back wall. Lift from the underside of the belly here. So draw that navel in and try to fill that little arch in the low back. If it's available, reach the left bicep by the left ear. Keep breathing. On the exhale, bring the elbow and the knee together. And if you're just doing the leg, bring your knee in. On the inhale, extend long. This time on the exhale, bring the elbow to the outside of the knee if you can. Inhale, extend. And keep repeating this, starting with the inside, extending, moving to the outside. Good. One more on each. Keep breathing. And then extend long. Take that left hand to the floor. We're going to bend into the left knee and just pulse up with the foot a few times. Keep breathing. Beautiful job. And then just float that knee down. Extend the left foot long. And then lift the heel, footprint on that back wall. If it's available, reach the bicep by the ear on that right side. Keep lifting, drawing that navel in. On the exhale, elbow to the inside of the knee. And then extend long. Exhale, elbow to the outside of the knee. Inhale long. A few more like this. Inside and then out. And then one more on each. Beautiful. Float that hand down. Bend into the left knee and then pulse that heel up. Keep breathing. Good. Float that knee down. Take the knees wide. Toes come together and then set your tail back toward your heels. Walk those hands forward, coming into child's pose. If you want to, you can stack the hands underneath the forehead. You can even reach the hands back toward your feet. So Robert Emmons is a gratitude researcher, and he determined through his studies that people who focus on gratitude are happier, view things in a more positive manner, and are healthier overall. There's all kinds of studies that show the health impacts of practicing gratitude on the body. It improves our sleep, our mood, helps us in our relationships, but really ultimately it changes the way we view life and our circumstances to make life more positive, more joyful. Given what's been happening in the world lately, we need a lot more of this circulating. We can have that kind of an impact on the world. The more we practice gratitude, the more the ripple effect will be on those around us. Begin to walk those hands forward. We're going to slowly come up. Bring the knees so that they're right underneath your hips, tucking those toes under. Bring your ears to the insides of your biceps so we get a nice long upper body. Keeping that same alignment, we'll begin to lift the hips up and back. Feet will be about hip width distance apart. And then begin to walk your dog. You want to make sure the toes are pointed forward or angled in slightly, because you want an inner spiral of those thighs. So just walk your dog here, lots of breath. Take a nice bend in those knees, and then we'll walk the feet to the front of the mat. So take your feet about hip width distance. So that's like 2 fists to the insides of your feet. Bend your knees deeply and let your rib cage rest on your thighs. Take a few breaths here, just allowing the crown to release toward the floor. Tail is lifting. Maybe take elbow for elbow here and just rock gently. Just making sure you don't have a bunch of rounding in that upper back. So if that's happening, bend the knees more so that you have support from the front side. Better that we have bent knees and a straight spine than the reverse. It's the #1 source of injury in yoga. So bend those knees generously. On the inhale, come back to center. Hands are going to press to the shins, lift up halfway for length. Bend into your left knee and place your left hand on the floor in front of you. This is a great place for a block if you have it, or anything that can bring the floor a little closer to you. Take the right arm out to the side like a wing, and then slowly begin to rotate, bringing that right hand high. Lots of breath here. Try to stack your shoulders. Make sure that right hip is drawing back. Nice long side body. Beautiful. Take the right hand behind you. We're going to reach the left hand up Coming all the way up to standing. Square the hips to the front. Find a little bit of a back bend here. Breathe. On the inhale, take the right hand to meet the left. On the exhale, fold forward, bend those knees. Inhale, lift halfway. We're going to bend the right knee, place the right hand on the floor below our face, left arm out to the side like a wing. Keeping the length in the spine, rotate your torso to the left. Stacking the shoulders, lots of breath. On the inhale, reach that left hand behind, right hand forward as you come up. Square the hips to the front, find a little back bend. Keep breathing. On the inhale, left hand comes up. Exhale, fold forward, bend those knees. Good, we're gonna flow through that a couple times. Inhale, lift halfway, bend the left knee, left hand down. Exhale, arm out to the side. Inhale, right hand high. Exhale, come up, square the hips. Inhale, back bend. Reach the right hand to meet. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Right hand down, bend the right knee. Exhale, left hand out to the side. Inhale, left hand high. Exhale, come up. Square those hips. Inhale, back bend. Right hand, left hand meets it. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Bend the left knee, left hand down. Exhale, right hand out to the side. Inhale, right hand high. Exhale, come up. Square those hips. Inhale, back bend. Right hand up to meet the left. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, lift halfway. Bend the right knee, right hand down. Exhale, left hand out to the side. Inhale, left hand high. Exhale, come up. Square those hips. Inhale, back bend. Left hand comes up. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. On the inhale, let's lift halfway. We're going to step the right foot back. Pivot it on an angle so that it's basically parallel with the back of your mat. Left knee tracks with your left foot. You might want to block to the inside of that left foot or bring the forearm to the thigh. Make sure you're not dumping into the shoulder, so lift up. Take the right hand high into side angle. Again, we're trying to stack the shoulders and the hips, so lift that right hip, lift that right shoulder, maybe even reach that hand back a little bit just for a little chest stretch here. Excellent. On the exhale, slowly come up to warrior two. So check in, you want your front knee tracking with that front foot, not collapsing in. Press to the outer blade of that back foot, shoulders back and down, reaching front to back, gaze over your left hand. Nice. On your next inhale, turn the palms to face up. Straighten that front leg, bring the hands together to touch. On the exhale, turn the palms down, sink down into warrior two. Turn the palms up, inhale, hands touch. Exhale, hands come down, warrior two. Beautiful, a few more like this. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, sinking back down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, sink down. This time, inhale, reach up. And then we're going to float that right hand down, taking a little bit of a reverse warrior here. You can keep that front leg straight or you can bend into it. Just breathe. On the exhale, come back up to warrior two. Bring that forearm back to the thigh or hand to the block. Come back into side angle. If you want to, you can reach up and over. Just keep the shoulder away from the ear. So make sure you're not doing this action. Create a little space there. On the exhale, float the hands all the way down. Coming into a low runner's lunge. Beautiful. And then we're going to step the front foot back to a down dog. Walk your dog. And then come into child's pose. Take a little break here. So whatever variation of child's feels good to you, or if you want to stay in down dog, feel free. Robert Emmons writes, "It's precisely under crisis conditions that we have the most to gain by a grateful perspective on life. In the face of demoralization, gratitude has the power to heal. In the face of despair, gratitude has the power to bring hope. In that way, it is a catalytic converter. It changes our circumstances from perceiving them as being negative to turning things around to find the positive, to find those hidden blessings, to find those lessons, to find the opportunities for gratitude to dwell in the midst of difficult times, in the midst of crisis conditions. And truly, we do have the most to gain in these moments by practicing gratitude." Slowly begin to come back up. I'm just going to switch directions here since we'll be going to the other side. And then go ahead and press back into your down dog. Bend those knees and then step or float the feet forward to the front of your mat. Feet will be about hip width distance apart. Again, bend those knees, folding out. On the inhale, let's lift halfway. Go ahead and step your left foot back and pivot it so it's mostly parallel to the back of the mat. Make sure your front knee is tracking with your front foot. Again, you can take a block to the inside of that right foot, or you can bring the forearm to the thigh. Make sure you're not dumping into that shoulder, so press up. Stack that left shoulder, so we're lifting the left shoulder up, lifting the left hip, and then reach the hand up. Side angle, breathe here. Slowly come up, warrior two. Check in with that front knee, make sure it's not collapsing in, it's tracking with your front foot. Shoulders away from those ears. Breathe. Press to the outer edge of that back foot. Turn the palms up. On the inhale, bring the hands together to touch. On the exhale, press the palms down, coming into warrior two. Sink into that front knee. Inhale, palms up. Lengthen and lift. On the exhale, sink down. Inhale, come up. And exhale, lower. Beautiful. Inhale, coming up. Now float that left hand down, taking a nice reverse here. Maybe you bend into that front knee. Keep checking in with your breath. On the exhale, back to warrior two. Windmill those hands coming onto the ball of that back foot. And then we're going to float the left knee down. So you can have hands on either side of your front foot here. You might have your hands on blocks, just depending on if that feels good to you. And then we're going to just kind of sink forward, like you're dragging that left knee. Notice how that left hip will drop forward and down. Keep hugging the right hip in and back though. Don't let it kick out to the side. Check in with your breath. Good, we'll back off of that just a little so the knee is tracking over the foot, but not in front of the toes. Take your left hand to a block or to the floor. Take your right hand to your right thigh, and we're gonna rotate our torso to the right. So you can use that right hand pushing into the thigh to help you find a little deeper twist here. Lots of breath. Slowly unravel that twist. Bring the hands to the inside of that foot. Another option could be on blocks or a block to the inside of that foot. Long straight spine here, but maybe you'll choose to drop onto those forearms. Just a little deeper hip twist, or hip stretch, excuse me. Slowly bring your hands back to that block to come back up. And then we'll take that leg behind us. I'm just going to shake it out a little bit. Good. Come back to standing on the knees, and then we'll take the left foot forward this time. Again, your hands can be on opposite sides. And we're going to sink into this like we're dragging that left knee forward and kind of drawing that right hip forward and down at the same time. Hug the left hip in and back. And it'll feel like you're kind of dragging, pulling on that right knee on the floor. Good. Take your right hand directly underneath your right shoulder on a block or on the floor. Left hand to your left thigh, and then begin to rotate your torso to the left. Keep drawing that left lung and shoulder back as you bring the right shoulder forward. Breathe. Feel that huge stretch in your right hip. Slowly unravel, coming back. Hands to the inside of that foot, maybe on a block. Maybe you stay upright like this, long straight spine. Or maybe you want to drop down onto the forearms. A few breaths here. So I told you guys earlier that gratitude has a positive impact on our relationships. And there was a study that was done that helped to illustrate the importance of gratitude and appreciation in our relationships. They discovered that the ratio of criticisms or complaints to appreciations needs to be like 1 to 5. We need 5 appreciations or 5 points of gratitude for every 1 complaint for our relationships to be healthy and thriving. That also holds true with respect to our relationship with ourselves. So if you spend a lot of time criticizing yourself or being hard on yourself, we have to find opportunities to express gratitude and appreciation in order to just maintain that healthy sense of relationship, for our relationships to thrive. They did a follow-up study and just determined that it might be even more like 5.6 appreciations to every 1 criticism. Slowly begin to lift up. We're going to bring that leg back behind us and then shake it out a little bit. And then just bring the knees underneath the hips. So you can have the blanket underneath your knees. Can you tuck your toes under and take a seat on top of your heels? Ouch, right? This is great for helping to break up the fascia on the bottom of the feet. It helps to prevent plantar fasciitis. But also it's used for treatment of plantar fasciitis. Although if you have it, you'll know, because this will be really challenging. So see how many breaths you can just hang out here. At any point, you can bring the tops of the feet to the floor and just sit on the heels if that feels better. Also, you can sit on a block between the hips if you need more height. We're going to do some shoulder rolls while we're hanging out here, just get our mind off our feet. So just rolling those shoulders around. Check in with your breath. Let's go in the other direction. Good. Bring your hands to your shoulders, and then we're going to bring elbows together and then open the elbows. Hug those shoulder blades together when you bring the elbows back. Elbows together and open. A couple more like this. Again, at any time, if your feet are on fire, make any adjustments that you need to. Good. And then we're going to circle the elbows. Feel those strong shoulders. We bear so much on our shoulders. We just carry the weight of the world sometimes. So let's release some of that. Take it in the other direction. Great job. Now, if you're not on the tops of the feet, go ahead and tap out. Maybe you want to tap the feet out anyway. Great job. And then we'll take a seat on those heels with the tops of the feet to the floor. You can always place a blanket underneath the knees or underneath the ankles for a little more support. Again, you can always take a block underneath your hips. We're going to draw our left ear toward our left shoulder. You can take your hand and take a hold of that head, maybe even release your right arm down, and then kind of rotate that arm. I'm going to get a little bang for our buck. Just turning the palm to face out, coming in maybe a 360-degree rotation, but continue to draw that head to the side, only as it feels safe for your body. Good. And then just bring that head back to neutral. We'll switch sides, take a hold of the head with the right hand, draw the right shoulder toward the right ear, and then start to rotate your arm, not just the hand and the wrist, but the entire arm bone in the shoulder socket. Beautiful job. Bring the head back to neutral. We'll slide the feet out from under the seat and bring them in front of us. You might want to take your blanket and create like a little bolster for your hips. Just slide to the edge of it so that it's only catching like the sits bones, drawing the sits bones back. Toes will point upward. Your feet aren't too dirty today. On the inhale, sweep those arms up, shoulders stay back and down. Last breath. Lifting like you're lifting over an imaginary bar in front of you. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, engage the core to come up. Protect that low back. Exhale, hinge forward. Maybe you can come a little further. Keeping the spine long and straight here. Inhale up. And then exhale. Float the hands all the way down. Shoulders are going to stay back and down away from those ears. Let the heart lead you. So the heart is leading forward. And then just relax the head here. I read a quote that I loved about gratitude, and it says, "It doesn't matter if the glass is half empty or half full. Be grateful you have a glass and there's something in it." It's a great way to cultivate gratitude. We have this saying in mindful eating. Actually, it shows up in lots of different places, but it's called TFAR. T stands for thoughts, F for feelings, A for actions, R for results. And it's all cyclical or circular, where our thoughts lead to certain feelings, which we act from those feelings, and then we generate certain results. So if we don't like the results that we're getting, or we don't like the way that we feel, or maybe we're unclear on the actions that we're taking, it always begins with what we were thinking about first, what our thoughts and our beliefs were. Slowly begin to walk those hands back. More on that in just a second. Draw your right knee in. I'll mirror you guys. Toes are going to point up. Sit up nice and tall here. We'll take a hold of the knee with our left hand. Reach that right arm up, get long. Keep that length and begin to twist from the belly, the chest, and then the head left. Float that hand down. So an example of how this TFAR thing works, if, for example, our thought is, I need more, as in toilet paper, pasta, rice, whatever those things are that people are hoarding right now. I need more. I don't have enough is the thought. The feeling is going to be one of feeling anxious, feeling a sense of lack, and feeling a need to accumulate more. And so the action will be that we acquire more, we amass more. And the result is we end up on this hamster wheel of dissatisfaction, totally brought about by fear and anxiety and worry of not having enough. Keep lengthening in the spine and breathing. On the inhale, let's reach that arm all the way back around and switch our legs out. So the left knee is in, right leg extended, toes point up. Hold on to the knee with the right hand, reach the left hand up, lengthen. And then slowly begin to rotate in the other direction. And so using this TFAR to unravel that kind of thought pattern, what if instead our thought was, I have all I need, I am blessed, I live in a space of abundance. The feeling instead will be one of gratitude and contentment. The action will be, instead of acquiring more, we might even find ourselves giving things away to other people from our abundance. And then the result is that abundance mentality, a sense of contentment with all that we have, a sense of gratitude for everything in our lives. And it all begins with just a simple change of our thoughts. From one of lack to one of abundance, from one of dissatisfaction to one of gratitude. On the inhale, slowly begin to come back around. Extend that leg out long, maybe shake it out. And then move anything up from underneath your seat. Come back onto your backs. Draw your knees to your chest. If there's something else that you feel that you need to round out your practice, feel free to do that now. Or if you're ready, to come into a full body stretch, lengthen your body, feel all the space that this practice created. Feel how different your breath feels now. Maybe your soul feels elevated as well. And just breathe that in. Coming into a final rest position. Bring your palms alongside your hips. Let your legs splay open. And close your eyes. Just here in Savasana, the most important of all of our yoga postures. Come back to a place of gratitude. Maybe even like a little slideshow. Thinking of all those things that bring your heart joy, all those things that you're grateful for. And even finding opportunities to be grateful in the midst of this crisis right now. What have you learned? How have you changed? What things can you be grateful for here and now? Sink into that feeling for the next final few moments. Sink into the silence. Sink into your breath. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. It's beginning to awaken the body. Gently begin to draw your knees toward your chest. Roll to whichever side you did not roll to at the beginning of class. Go to the opposite side. Rest there for a moment or two. And then as you're ready, begin to make your way up to a seated position. Take your time. Beautiful. As you come up to a seated position, rest one hand on your heart, rest the other on your belly. Gratitude, like love, is an attitude. It's a feeling. It's an action. And it's contagious. To choose to be grateful regardless of our circumstances, to choose to be happy with what we have and where we are, leads to true joy and peace that transcends all understanding. Bring your hands together at heart center and bow your head to your heart. The one who practices gratitude in me sees and honors the one who practices gratitude in you. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Thank you for technology that enables us to meet in this format on this platform. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today.